Had to get the chair up. It's like I was sitting in a hole. I'm sitting on my AirPods. Hey, everybody. Let me turn my mic up. How about some sound? Hey, everybody. Happy Sunday. Scotty's in the nation's capital, so it's just going to be you and me tonight. So let's hang. We'll start the show in a little bit. We got about 5 minutes, so just hanging out, getting things set up. So cheers to a happy Sunday. We'll start in about 5 minutes. Let me know that you're here in the comments. Where's the comment box? How do I leave a comment? Maybe you have to leave a comment first. I don't see a comment box. Do 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 do. The Cardinals might actually win a baseball game. It would be a miracle. There we go. Now I got a comment box because Smackdown Outdoors left a comment there. Thank you. I think I posted when I posted. I think it goes to YouTube and Facebook. So there's 2 posts, I think. Let's see. Yep. Yeah. Maybe if you probably only see it once because you're only watching on one thing. So Smackdown Outdoors is here, and Kathleen is tuned in both on YouTube. Hello, Rhonda Lee is here. Yes, thank you, Rhonda Lee, up in Nova Scotia. Glad to have you back. Wonder where you were. We caught it. 2 outs. The Cardinals are 1 out away from winning 1 game in Seattle. It's a miracle. It's a minor miracle. Hello, Andrea. So we have a lot to talk about tonight, I guess. Since Scotty G is still in DC. I think he is. Let's see where he is. Let's check him out. Yeah, we met in Columbia Harbor. Yeah, we were in a better place last week, right? I just had Taco Bell, which isn't bad, but it is in was it the Trio Basket? That's what I had at Columbia Harbor House. That place rocks. Let's see here. Wait, I'm seeing where my daughter is. She better not be going to my favorite Mexican restaurant. I think she is. She's going to La Azteca. Anyway, I was trying to see where Scott is. Scott is in Arlington. Oh, he's at the airport. Arlington, Virginia. Don't think he's on an airplane yet, though. Looks like he's sitting at the gate. Hey, Cardinals won. Yep, he's sitting at the gate. So maybe we'll call him at the gate. He's probably feeling all kinds of patriotic. He's like, he's going to be like Sam Eagle. Oh my gosh, Jennifer's driving home from Memphis. Former home of Paul DeYoung, who came to the big leagues today and lit it up. So it took me 30 minutes to get the studio working today, and I kept playing the song Abracadabra by Steve Miller Band just because it was at the top of the list on my iTunes and that's stuck in my head. So if I keep doing that all night, that's why. Spread the word on your socials so we get more people in here. What part? Where are you at, Jennifer? What town? You're probably on 55, I guess. You passed Cape? Have you stopped at Lambert's? Got some throat rolls? You don't want to do that. I've stopped along there before, and then you get too full, and then the rest of the drive's miserable. Home of the throat rolls. Yeah, we could talk about that tonight. Poor old Murphy had a little heartburn last night. I'm glad I got to see it when I did. Oh man, playoff hockey. It'll take 5 years off your life. The Blues spared us that this year at least. Yes, Brooke is back. Brooke is ready to cruise with us on the BRGS podcast cruise. And it'll tell you in how many days if you just watch over my shoulder here. Shortly. Now, the moon is at 16.1% illumination tonight, by the way. Apparently, we can see the northern lights just north of us tonight, like in north of St. Louis City, which I'm a little bit south of St. Louis. Just past Cape. Oh, you're in striking distance of Lambert's, but you're north of it. So, oh well, you don't want to turn around. Katie's here. She's probably already run 20 miles today. 6:01. We should probably get to business because I want to stop on time tonight because I think it's going to be a celebratory night tonight. I don't know. Mallory got to go meet with the team immediately upon. I'll talk about it on the show. It's pretty cool how they do this. But it's been a good weekend. So let's do this. But let's talk Disney. That's why we're here. No miles. Katie had no miles. Oh my gosh. That's like a song with no lyrics. Thanks, Rondalee. I'm super happy for her. Man, I'm telling you, it was a long week. Long week. I'll tell you the story in just a second. I may as well say it on the show. Oh my gosh, Troy got his AP. We're going to talk about that too. We're going to talk about stories of perseverance tonight. We are, I promise you. Oh my goodness. I see that tweeting about cheerleading lost me about 30 followers today, but that's okay. I don't mind. I like cheerleading. Very good. Okay. Oh my gosh, APs all over the house. See, I didn't let mine expire. I was sly like a fox. Now I let my girls all expire. But they don't go as much anymore, so I didn't get them a new one. Okay, let's get to business here. But I'll be taking your calls here in just a second. I need you to call though, because Scott's obviously not here. But I'll let you know when the phone line's open. So here we go. Yeah, rookie mistake. I know it. I was tempted, but I didn't. I was like, oh, and I needed it because man, my job was in bad shape then, right? I worked in travel. But I said, I think I'm gonna need that. Anyway, let's do this. Here we go. Well, hey, everybody. Welcome to the BOGP Open Line for Sunday night, April 23rd, 2023. I almost said June. What am I thinking? My name is Mike Rallman, host of the Be Our Guest podcast, but you probably know that if you're tuned to this show. So happy Sunday night to everybody who is tuned in live on Facebook and or YouTube. You're probably just tuned into one. That'd be the best practice. Thanks so much for spending the next hour with us here live on the internet. And we'll be taking your calls here shortly at 407-413-9395 to talk about all things Disney. We have lots to talk about. We could talk about the folks who got their first APs, like Brooke here on Facebook Live, who's tuned in. She is the proud owner of a pass to the Walt Disney World theme parks for the next 365 days. And we have some folks who took that refund when Disney offered that during COVID. You got that fat refund, but then you didn't know that you couldn't get your AP back. And, we got that solved. So if you want to call in and tell us about your experiences, I would love to hear that. I know some people spent hours in the queue, very much like a Run Disney experience. I was telling some guests who don't run, because I obviously talked to a lot of guests working at the Magic for Less. And some of these folks, no experience ever with a Run Disney race. And so I told them runners have an advantage last Thursday when these APs went on sale, because this is no different than marathon weekend. We do this every year. You get in there, you get anxious about a week before. You start having like worst case scenarios run through your head. You get multiple devices set up. You got your iPad, you got your desktop, you got your laptop, probably your phone. You got everything going. You tell everybody at work, don't talk to me. And I can't talk to you right now. Now, the good news is these went on sale around 6 a.m, my time, where Run Disney races go on sale around 9 or 10 in the morning, where by then you're typically at work. And so then you do have coworkers bothering you. Or in my case, before I became a full-time travel agent, my coworkers were sixth graders. I told them, like, look, it's silent reading time now. Like for the next little bit, Mr. Roman's got to run a marathon. And so if you can silent read here, the only reason you come up here right now is if somebody's bleeding, if this room is on fire, or if there is some imminent danger. Otherwise, if we're all cool for like the next 30 minutes, and I was wishful thinking that I would sign up in 30 minutes, that we're cool and I'll give you an extra recess this afternoon. And it usually worked out. it wasn't so bad back then. But anyway, you can tell me about your experiences with AP registration. Yes, it is that crazy. If you didn't go through it, it is. We could also talk about Murphy, the dragon at Disneyland, the Phantasmic Dragon, which thank goodness I went to watch Phantasmic just a couple of weeks ago when I was out there because I love Phantasmic at Disneyland. But he had a little heartburn last night and went up in smoke, which I'm just glad. Honestly, I'm just glad that nobody was hurt. That's the important thing because you can rebuild that thing. It's going to take forever. Disney doesn't do things quickly, but they'll rebuild that dragon probably better. I mean, it's going to be a new one. I'm sure they'll bring it back because that show is amazing at Disneyland, right there on the rivers of America. But obviously, it'll be out of commission for a while. So that's kind of a drag. I thought we would also talk about, and I want to get your thoughts on this. What about the cabins over at Fort Wilderness? Did you read this story earlier this week where they're taking the cabins at Fort Wilderness and apparently, see, I'm not sure about this story. I read it quickly because this has been a hectic whole week and we'll talk about that in a second too. But I know that they're going to take these cabins over at Fort Wilderness, which are very popular with large families and a certain demographic that goes to Walt Disney World. Some people love these cabins. I've tried to talk my wife into staying in these cabins forever, for over a decade. She will not stay in these cabins because she says she has to have a food court. My wife doesn't like to camp. I mean, she just doesn't. I think these cabins look awesome. I would love to do it, but I'm not doing it solo. They're too big for a solo guy. So anyway, I want to stay there. I'm not going to get to, but they're going to turn these into DVC units. But it looks like from the renderings that they're going to demolish the ones that are there that I think are really awesome because I run through there all the time when I'm vacationing. I'll go over to Fort Wilderness and go for a run through the loops. And I'm not a fan of what these renderings look like. They don't look as rustic as kind of log cabiny as the ones that are existing. They look more urban. They look more contemporary, which I get that, they are going to be newer and they are going to be more contemporary. I get it. They totally are. But are cabins supposed to look contemporary and new and fancy? I don't know. I think they're supposed to look like they're from the 1800s. Not new. Maybe that's just me. I'm not a fancy like decoration guy. Like Beth says here, the modern farmhouse look is super popular right now. And I'm sure Disney's done the market research, right? They wouldn't build these if they haven't gone to people and asked and, they know what they're doing. But, so much stuff has gone to DVC, which again, regular folks can book DVC accommodations. I mean, you can stay in a villa at Boardwalk Villas or at Beach Club Villas or at the Grand Floridian Villas or the Polynesian. You can stay there if you're not DVC. DVC just has first shot at those accommodations. So you'll still be able to stay in a cabin, but they're turning these over because I think that obviously they want to sell these contracts to get more DVC because that's just annual income, big time income for the company. And they need people to be able to use their points. And this is definitely a very unique type accommodation as well. So I thought I'd get your thoughts on that too at 407-413-9395. Anyway, so big news around here. We just found out this afternoon and this whole weekend, I've been tuned in just real quick. I've been tuned into live streams from Walt Disney World, honestly, for probably about 15 to 16 hours this weekend. And I have not seen a theme park, a restaurant, anything like that from Walt Disney World this entire weekend. However, like I said, I've tuned into live streams for probably 15 or 16 hours this weekend. How is that? I've been watching the World Cheerleading Championships live from ESPN Wide World of Sports. So last weekend, we were down there for the springtime surprise race weekend. We're getting our packets. We're buying our stuff in the arena. This weekend, they're using all three venues. The arena, which is that first big building to your right where the Run Disney official merchandise is. That's like the big hall. That's where you want to be if you're the big dogs. Then the other two arenas, the old Visa Center and the Milk House. I forget the State Farm Center. They change their names all the time. The two in the back, the Jostin Center was called at one point. They also have things going on. And so if you have the subscription service called Varsity TV or Flow Cheer, you can go back and forth between all the venues and watch all this cheerleading. So it's been great cheerleading this weekend from Walt Disney World, still some tomorrow. World Cheerleading Championships, best athletes in cheerleading in the world. And then to top it off, now Mallory isn't in this because she's not doing all-star cheer this year. She was just doing high school. But we just found out in the last couple of hours that she made the varsity cheerleading squad at her high school for the next year, which she's going to be a sophomore next year. So we are super excited about that. I mean, I'm super excited because she's worked really hard. She's always wanted to be a cheerleader since she was like a little girl. And just, I'm a dad, right? I was super excited when Paige played varsity soccer when she was a freshman and got to, play basketball and run cross country. And now Mallory gets to cheer. So, yeah, proud dad moment. I'm excited for that immediately. So here's the difference, though. You might have saw the video on my Instagram. When I was in high school 1,000 years ago, I played sports. I played baseball mostly. And when you tried out for the team, now I remember my tryouts for baseball. There were 125 guys trying out for 17 slots on our freshman baseball team. I went to a very large high school. And so the way they did the cuts back then was you tried out all week. And then on Friday morning, you went to the coach's classroom and he just hung a piece of paper outside the door. And if your name was on the piece of paper, good, you're on the team. And that was it. Okay, you better be at practice that afternoon. And that's how it went. No. Not in 2023. All week we've known that the team would be announced on Instagram at 3:00 p.m. on Sunday. And so you can imagine they tryouts all week before this. So you can imagine all weekend, my stomach's been, and Mallory's been like, I'm so nervous. And so you can imagine her mom and I are as nervous as she is. And then, the Instagram comes out, I got this reminder set, and Instagram comes out and they announced the JV team. She's not on that. And I'm like, oh my gosh, this is not good because she's a sophomore and she should be on JV. And then, but then she was on varsity. I was like, whoo. So we were excited. I'm pumped. We're going to have a good year of football and basketball and cheering. And I'm just super excited. So maybe we'll have to go for ice cream tonight. Who knows? We'll have to celebrate. I'm super proud of her. She's worked hard. It's been a heck of a week, but, it's an exciting time around here. So thanks for indulging an old man who is super excited about being a girl dad. I love it. Being a dad is the best thing in the world. It absolutely is. So anyway, let's open up the phone lines at 407-413-9395. I do have a couple of stories I want to hit real quick. We talked about AP sales and we could talk about that. Trails End is now closed. Oh, Trails End. Man, I love Trails End. Was Trails End one of your favorite places to eat too? I mean, it was decently priced. It was like a step up from Cracker Barrel. It was kind of like the same food you would get over at Olivia's at Old Key West, but it was a buffet and it had just good stuff. Now I am excited. I'm not counting it out because I'm hoping they have the same type of food, but in this hybrid counter service. What are they calling it? Let's click on Ricky's article here. It's going to be like a quick service kind of location. They're calling it something though. Sorry about that. Let's see. It is a. No, she didn't put it in here, but it's going to be like a hybrid kind of thing. Mobile ordering, truck wagon food. No, that's the temporary thing. So anyway, Trails End, please come back. I love you, Trails End. All right, we have a first call of the night. Hey, who's joining us?
What do they call it?
Hello, who's joining us?
Hey, this is Diana from Connecticut.
Hey, Diana, thanks for calling in. What's going on?
Hey, how are you, Mike?
I am wonderful. How are you?
Good. I was calling because we were just in Disney World at the same time as you were. Like just this last week, you were there for Run Disney.
I was. I just hung up my medals.
We were laughing because we were like, I would check Instagram and then I would see you had been somewhere we had left like a couple hours later. And I was like, man, I feel like I'm chasing down a celebrity here.
Oh my gosh. I was rolling tape. So that's good. So my daughter's head will be big because she made varsity cheerleading. So at least she thinks her old dad is somebody, I'll be like, I'm Justin Bieber or something to her, No, just kidding. No, when I'm solo, man, I'm like a butterfly, man. I'm like, I don't know where I'm going. It's like, ooh, I saw something. I'm going to go get that. You know what? If you're looking for me, though, go to ABC Commissary. You'll find me there because I get that sandwich often.
Well, I was going to tell you that too. And it's too bad Scotty's not on the line with you tonight because we were at Hollywood Studios our first day. And I said to my husband, we have to go to ABC Commissary and try the buffalo chicken grilled cheese because Mike raves about it. And I listen to your podcast all the time. So I'm like, we have to go there. So we did. and we loved it. It was delicious.
Oh, I had 2 of them. That was my first thing I got when I got there. I got there on a Thursday morning. I landed at like 8:30, and I had that for lunch. So I was like the first thing after checking into Pop Century, hopped on the Skyliner, boop, 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 over to get my sandwich and left. Went to the expo. And then the last thing I did, I got a sandwich, and I met some listeners who were eating there as well, from Washington State. This awesome couple, teacher and a principal, and had a great conversation, and got to wrap up the trip. So bookended it with that sandwich. And actually somebody today reached out to me on Twitter and said you can get all the ingredients at Trader Joe's, which I've never been to a Trader Joe's, but I think I'm going to have to find one.
Oh, you could try to make it at home.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But I worry about that stuff though, right? Because it's like my go-to. I get excited for that when I go to Walt Disney World. And if I could make it at home, I'd probably gain, I don't know, way too much weight. I don't need that.
Well, we did try to track you down. So I was like, what are the chances we're here at the same time? I should try to find them and take a picture. And then it just never worked out because you were, like you said, you were all over the place. I could not keep up with you.
I apologize. So what was the highlight of your, were you down for the race, or were you just down to have some fun, or what'd you do?
We were there. We were for spring break because I'm a teacher. So that's kind of the week that we have off. And we were there. We left Easter Sunday. We were there for dinner, and we came back Saturday. So we were there about the full week.
So give me some highlights. Like, where'd you guys stay, and what were some of the best parts of the trip?
We stayed at the Riviera. That was our first time staying there. It was really nice. We stayed in one of the studio tower rooms, which was perfect for just the 2 of us because it was definitely more affordable. And
I'm so curious about those, right? Because those are such they seem super unique. I've never been in one, but I mean, they're like, did it seem kind of like really small, or what does that feel like?
It does feel small when you first enter, and the bed is one of those pull down beds. So when you first walk into the room, it feels a little bigger because the bed is not pulled down.
Right.
Pull the bed down, it does feel a little bit, I wouldn't say it was cramped though. Honestly, for just the 2 of us, we had plenty of room for what we needed. And I feel like the biggest perk to those rooms was the bathroom. Like, I think the bathroom made up for the space that was in the actual bedroom. That bathroom was like the nicest bathroom that we've seen in a Disney resort.
Really? So they put the focus on the restroom there in the Tower Studios. So here's $1 million question though. Would you do it again for the price you paid? I memean, did you feel like you got a good value out of that stay, or would you try something different?
Well, the thing is, when we go to Disney, we try to stay at different resorts.
Yeah.
We're not super close when we go. We like to see different things. But I would definitely stay there again. We got to see the fireworks right from our balcony, Epcot fireworks. You can't hear them that well, but we had a perfect view of them.
Nice.
So that was super nice too. And then you have the Skyliner, so you can't beat that either.
Yeah. I was all over the Skyliner because I was a Pop. I'm cheap, so I was a Pop Century. But yeah, I was that Skyliner. I mean, it seriously. I've said it for years now. It's game changer. It's just so quick.
Yeah, we love Pop Century too. So we basically did one park per day with one day in between where we went to breakfast at the Polynesian. But we did get to do a lot of fun things we'd never done before. We did sci-fi dine-in theater with the Fantasmic dining package. We'd seen Fantasmic before, but this was the first time we did sci-fi. That was so fun. That was probably one of my favorite things that we did.
I tried to get sci-fi. No kidding. Again, I cannot. This restaurant will not let me in because I tried and tried and tried. The second to last night, because you know how you can do the walk-up thing where if you're close enough, it'll tell you like, these restaurants, like if you go to the ADR thing, like, it's not the order food, it's the one where you like schedule an ADR, but you go to now and it join the walk-up list option. Sci-fi never comes open for me. Like it does every once in a while, but I'm never close enough. Like it'll do it when I'm like at Animal Kingdom, or it'll do it when I'm at Magic Kingdom, and then you got to get in with proximity, and then I get close and I'm like, oh, sorry, it's not open again. I can't. Right. Something about that thing. It's got a force field on me because I haven't been in that place, and I bet you I've been in there in 5 years, and I'm like dying to get back in.
I didn't have high hopes for it because, like I said, I listened to your podcast, and you guys had been talking about for a while how hard it was to get sci-fi. And I did our dining reservations the 60 days out, and that was the one I couldn't get. Plus, because it was the dining package I was looking for, it wasn't available at the 60-day mark. And I just kept checking every day and checking. And then suddenly one day I'm at work and I had a few minutes break. So I'm like checking the app and it popped up and I almost went, like I was so excited when I saw it pop up that I booked it right away.
Yeah.
And then that day there actually was a lot of availability. So I don't know how they released the dates for those things, but it was not available right away when I first looked.
Yeah, that's kind of the trick with ADRs, right? And I tell this to my guests a lot, is that it is a crapshoot. Like if you get something at 60 days, you're lucky. And a lot of folks will say, "Oh, I got it. I got what I was looking for." Because everybody, I mean, let's face it, like our audience, type A, and they want to get everything done like at the second that they can. And what I tell guests is like, okay, so what you got done at 60 days, I'm a former teacher was like you. I tell them like that's like your rough draft, because you're still 2 months out from from having to turn the paper in. So you got your rough draft at 60 days, but you can still refine that sucker for the next 2 months. So if you got you wanted to go to, say, Crystal Palace on your last day, because you're a big Pooh fan, or you wanted to have, you wanted to eat with Piglet or something. And, you can only get it on like day 3 of a 7-day trip. Well, you got it. So you get to have the experience, you get the pictures. So you're good. I mean, you're pretty decent, but you still have, what I'm saying, like another 2 months to try to refine that to maybe jump it out to that 7th day. So that's kind of how I look at things with ADRs.
Yeah. And even with that, when I booked our ADRs initially, that 60 days out, there was a couple times I went in and I ended up modifying even just the times. Because when I first logged in, I just grabbed what was available. And then as the date got closer, I would try to go in and see if I could change like our dinner for a little earlier or a little later. And then there seemed to be more availability.
Yep.
As we got closer to the day.
Good tip. So it was just you or a family, or I didn't hear.
Yeah. My husband and I went, just the two of us.
Nice.
So I think that's another why that room it worked out really well for just 2 people.
Oh, that makes sense. Yeah.
And for what we used it for, I mean, we were in the resort, but most of the time we were out of the resort. So for sleeping and relaxing, it was plenty of space.
Very nice. So Is there anything you missed? Like you got home and you're like, I wish I would have. See, when I was down for the races, obviously I didn't get to see any of the fireworks shows, but I mean, it's because I was there just Thursday to Sunday. So only had Thursday night, Friday night, Saturday night. I had to get up at 2:30 in the morning each morning. So I didn't get to see, I want to see Epcot forever. I love Fantasmic, but I also love sleep a little bit more. I was only getting 4 or 5 hours anyway. So, but some of our people on our running team, like, yeah, I saw Happily Ever After. I'm like, you did what? I'm like, you were at the Magic Kingdom till 11:30 and you got up at 2:30. Nah, not me. But I mean, is there anything you missed that you wish you would have done?
So we actually ended up doing a lot of things. We splurged on a few things. We saw Happily Ever After from California Grill, and we had never done that before either. So that was a big kind of bucket list item for us, and that was really nice. And then Epcot Forever fireworks we saw from Topolino's Terrace. So the fireworks shows we saw, we didn't even see them inside the parks at all this trip. We saw them from either our hotel or from like a restaurant.
But you did it right. I mean, just both of those, the views from both those locations are like chef's kiss. That's the way to go. Because I had never seen it from California Grill until we did that event with the travel agency a couple months ago, and I'm like, oh, this spoils you up there on that deck.
It was, and even just because they have the music right there,
you
get a perfect sound, and then you really have a good view of the fireworks from afar. But it's so different than seeing it from inside the park. It was really like a different experience for us.
So are you glad that Happily Ever After's back, or did you like Enchantment, or what's your favorite all-time nighttime spectacular?
So I did like Enchantment, but I like Happily Ever After better. So when that came back, I was really happy to hear that, because I feel like, I don't know why, but I had more of a connection with Happily Ever After. So that's just, and I like Enchantment. But I think too, Happily Ever After, just in general.
Yeah, I'm the same way. Like I liked Enchantment, but I think Happily Ever After just takes us back. Like I still think this, like subconsciously, it takes us back pre-COVID. It's like before all the mess.
Very true.
I mean, because it takes us back, like even if you're not thinking about it, it takes us back to pre-park reservations, pre-Genie Plus, and I mean, I don't think any of us love those things. I think we tolerate those things as Disney fans, and we sometimes understand those things, but it just seems like everything was free and happier back with Happily Ever After when it was, if they brought back Wishes, it'd be like, woohoo, that's really the good old days. It seems like that would have been like the roaring 40s back then. It's so long ago at this point, or Spectrum Magic or something.
And Happily Ever After just has a really good variety of music. Like the songs that they chose for that show, like there's not one that I don't like. So I do love that show.
Yeah, me too. I
So
wish I could have seen it. Go ahead. No, go ahead.
I just wanted to ask you while I was on the line with you. We have friends who live out in LA. So this summer we're hoping to make it to Disneyland, but it would only be for one day. So I wanted to pick your brain because I know you were there last year, and we would be there 4th of July.
Yes.
So I'm just wondering, like, what are your recommendations for a one day? We would do Park Hopper. So, like, what are our must-dos for one day while we're there on the 4th of July? And is it possible to, well, actually Fantasmic now, I don't even know if we can see it with this dragon that caught fire situation.
Yeah, who knows about that? I'm hoping they bring it back like without the dragon. I mean, obviously, I don't think the dragon will be back anytime soon. I mean, that July though, that's still pretty far off. But I would doubt it. I mean, Disney doesn't do anything fast.
Fantasmic without the dragon for a while.
By July, I would think. I mean, I wouldn't think that they would do Fantasmic in the next. I think they won't do the show at least for the next couple of weeks, right? Because you saw this morning already they had scaffold set up and they're trying to. I mean, that thing wasn't like just a little bit on fire. That thing was like blazing. That thing. Did you see the video?
And then all of a sudden it was like engulfed in flames, the whole thing.
Yeah, it was nuts. I mean, that thing was.
Yeah.
And the thing about Disneyland compared to like World is that there are like a lot of trees over there. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, when I joked about it a couple weeks ago, the reason I like Disneyland Fantasmic is like I literally watched the shit. Now it's across the river, but I was watching the show under a tree. Like there was a branch hitting me in the head while I was watching the show. It just feels so homey. But also over on that island, there's trees. Like, thank God nothing else caught on fire because that thing was roaring. So, but yeah, I would bet they'd do it without the dragon somehow. Maybe they can do like a puppet or something. I don't know.
You were in Disneyland about a month ago or so. And I feel like you said on the podcast that you were able to see World of Color and Fantasmic on the same day, or was that different days?
Those were different days. But I mean, it was also a media event. So they wanted us to see. Yeah, it was different days because we were out there to see that new, because the World of Color, they have changed. It's called World of Color 1. It's an updated show. Yeah. And so, but I mean, here's me. This is just, I don't know if you're a big movie buff. If you're a movie buff, you'll probably love World of Color 1. I'd much rather if Fantasmic show and see Fantasmic and the fireworks over at Disneyland. It's more Disney to me. Like World of Color is beautiful with all the colors and the water from the shooting up and the music's awesome, but it's really movie based. So,
yeah.
But so let me tell you about 4th of July though, because we were there last 4th of July. Definitely get the Genie Plus. I mean, that is not a question because that'll be the best money you spend because it is so good to use out there. Because think about how tight all those attractions are at Disneyland, and you can, you can park hop at Disneyland starting at 11, not at 2. So that gives you 3 extra hours to go back and forth, and you can schedule them both parks. We saw the fireworks at Disneyland on Main Street on the 4th of July, and they were awesome. I mean, that was very patriotic, and we just jumped around. The crowds weren't horrible because we've done 4th of July many years at Walt Disney World, and it's insane. We do Epcot, and it's typically insanity, but the way we do 4th of July at Walt Disney World is we typically do a pool day. This is when Pam's family, Ricky's family, Scott's family, because it's usually around the podcast cruise. We all go down and we all get a pool. We all stay at the same hotel, usually like Beach Club or Yacht Club. And we'll do like a pool day that day. And then we'll go into the park like at 4:00 and just see the Epcot 4th of July fireworks. So we just don't deal with the crowds well. But Disneyland, we were in the parks all day and it was not bad. We did a ton that day. And it wasn't as hot either. Like you weren't exhausted like you are at World. It was nice. Like it wasn't as humid. It didn't kill you as much. You didn't have that humidity wearing on you. So 4th of July would be great out there.
Okay. Yeah, we did go to Disneyland. This was 2018. But we were there in July, but we weren't there, the 4th of July. So I just wasn't sure what kinds of things they might do that are different from just a typical day in the park.
Yeah, I mean, I don't remember anything different than like special fireworks. I mean, we had sweatshirts on that night. I remember watching the fireworks. We were cold. Now it was unusual. That whole week we were there. Every night we had to wear sweatshirts. We were there for 7 nights. And I had to wear a jacket when I went to the Dodgers game because I was freezing. Every night though, we had to wear sweatshirts. That's how different it was the first week of July in LA. I don't, in Anaheim. I don't think that's typical. Like Carolyn says, that's not typical, but it may have been crowded for Disneyland, but it didn't feel like, New Year's Eve crowded at Walt Disney World. But I mean, I was also on a high. I was like, this place is the best. I didn't care. Like, and I still am. I love that place. Like, it's just amazing. And I think you'll love it too. It's so fun.
Yeah, well, we did something similar when we were there because when we were there in 2018, we drove up the whole coast, the California coast. So we only had one day to spend in Disneyland. And that's kind of what we're going to do this time because we really only have the one day. So I'm just trying to maximize our time. I'll definitely do the park hopper and I'll do Genie Plus. I just wasn't sure how to squeeze in a couple of these night shows, like the nighttime spectaculars, because I'd love to see both. Fantasmic at Disneyland is just so amazing.
It is. I mean, it's so like homey and it's such a great show. And the pirate ship. I mean, the pirate ship. Yep. I mean, dude, those pirates.
That's the best part.
Unreal. I know. It's like, I can't believe they do that. Like, I still, those pirates are like swinging off the mast and stuff. I can't believe they're allowed to do that. Like, I still, like they let them do that.
It blew me away when I saw it because I had only ever seen it at Hollywood Studios. And then at Disneyland, we're right in front of the water. And all of a sudden, the ship came out of the fog out of nowhere. I did not expect it.
Yeah.
It, like, really took me by surprise.
No, Scott totally got me because Scott had been there a couple times and I had never been. And so we're all standing there watching. This was in July, my first time. He's like, dude, we're going to see Fantastic. It's going to be awesome. So he gets us right up on the rail, dude. We got this great spot under the same spot I watched it this past when I was there like a month ago. And I'm just like, a little kid just smiling, watching this. I'm like, dude, I'm in Disneyland. There's Mickey Mouse. He's like a sorcerer. He's got the fire shooting out of his fingers. Like, I know the show. I know the music. And then, when that cannon goes off, right, from the pirate ship, dude, scared the crap out of me. Like my knees buckled and my heart skipped a beat. My heart, because he was cracking up because he knew it was coming. And we were right there. And that thing came out of nowhere. Because I was looking the other way, right? I was watching the stage and that thing came on my right. Oh, so if you ever want to get somebody, and I'm sure it happens every show, but I mean, my heart probably didn't start beating for another 10 seconds. It scared me to death. And then I looked over there and that big old ship was there and I was like, oh yeah. That's the best. So anyway, yeah, it is the best.
But our friend who will be living in LA at the time, he's never seen it. So I think if we end up making it, keep it a secret.
See, I was solo. I couldn't do it to anybody this time. So next time I'll find somebody. But no, you have a good trip. But if you put yourself in, Corbin of Amber, who's in our live chat, he brings up a good point. If it's really hot, which it could be in July, DCA has very little shade. He's exactly right. So you might want to do that in the morning, and Disneyland will have more shade. So like if you're going to be in the parks in the afternoon, Disneyland would be the way to go. More shade.
All right.
That's a good call.
To know too.
Great strategy.
All right.
Hey, I appreciate you giving me the call tonight. This has been awesome.
Yeah. Thanks for all your tips.
I appreciate it. And we'll catch up next time we're both down there. I promise you. Just let me know and we'll meet up. We'll get a picture.
Yeah, I'll have to find you again on Instagram. He was just there. I said to my husband, "Oh, he just left." Oh my God.
I know.
So funny.
I'm sorry. But hey, I'm telling you, we'll meet up at ABC Commissary and get buffalo chicken sandwiches.
Okay. Perfect.
All right. Sounds good. We'll tell your son I said hello and tell everybody I said thanks for listening. I appreciate it.
All right, thanks.
All right, hang in there. The end of the school year's almost here. We're right there. I know it's the most dangerous time, but you're close.
I think it's like 8 weeks. So we can do it.
My wife said 26 days. She's already counting, so it's close.
Nice.
All right, have a good one. I'll talk to you soon.
You
All
too.
right, bye-bye. All righty, that's a great call there. Love our teachers, and we got 4 on the board. Our next call is right here. Hey, who's joining us?
Hey, it's Katie from Maryland.
Katie, what's going on? Scotty G's out. Well, he was out your way. He's getting ready to get on an airplane.
Yeah, he's only been like 4 or 5 miles from me this whole weekend.
Dude, and he didn't find you? What's going on?
I know, right?
I know.
Scary.
He's been busy, man. He's been eating it up and seeing. I bet you he's going to come back. He's going to be like Sam Eagle, man. He's going to be so patriotic. It's going to be unreal.
Literally, he's seen everything patriotic in DC. So yeah.
I can't wait. I haven't called him because I've been super like occupied with this whole cheerleading thing all weekend. Like at 3:00, I could finally breathe this afternoon. I was like, and so I gotta, and then he's headed to the airport. So I'll talk to him tomorrow. But yeah, I can't wait to hear what he thought. But he
he's definitely
posted up.
hit every single best restaurant in the area too. So he definitely knows how to do it. Right?
Oh yeah, he's had.
I mean, it's not after all.
Oh man, he had a killer brownie Sunday looking thing yesterday. I think he's had like great old fashions, and I mean, dude, he's killing it. Anyway, he if he ever gets elected senator, he'll be set. You know, Senator Gardner there, out of this great state of Michigan. Anyway, so what's going on in your world? So you got your AP back?
Yeah, that's actually why I was calling. So I got in fairly early. I mean, obviously it started at 6 a.m. and it went down for a little bit. I think I got mine around 11 a.m. So not as bad as seemingly some other people experienced. One thing that I thought was really nice, going back to your one comment about how Run Disney runners are very kind of knew what to expect going in, was that they, periodically they'll blast a message at the bottom of that queue page with updates. So that's how we knew the system went down for a bit. But that also, I was looking for that message to see if anything were to sell out. And since nothing did, or at least when I was in the queue, at least, I don't think anything still has at this point, last time I checked. But I knew I was good just because there never was a message saying that something had been sold out. Whereas I think some people without Run Disney experience didn't necessarily have that experience or didn't know to expect that. So they were, I think, panicking a bit more in the queue. But my whole time there, I was like, oh, I'm good. They haven't told me anything sold out yet, at least.
Right.
And I got through. And yeah, so I do have a question for you, though, based off of AP related stuff.
Okay. Hopefully it's not how many days it takes to break even, because who knows with the variable pricing at this point.
Well, it's not that load of a question. Trust me, I've done that math for myself many times.
Yep.
So this is actually my first time I've ever bought an AP, like just straight. I've always upgraded the ticket. So I've heard different things about when I go to use it, obviously make reservations and all of that, but do I have to like go to guest relations or will call or something to activate it first, or can I literally just go to the park as I would any other day?
So now,
then if I have the reservation.
So again, it's been forever because I've had mine for like 10 years. So
nice, yeah.
But I do remember the first time I got it because I got a voucher, and I remember it was like a plastic green card, and I, TMI, but I kept it in my underwear drawer, scared this thing was going to get stolen because you could just take it and get an AP, right? I mean, like somebody's going to rob me, right? That was going to happen to be, I was going to happen to be robbed by like a super Disney fan. Like they weren't going to take anything else in the house, but they were going to steal the voucher for the annual pass. Like I was an idiot, but I had to hide that thing. I probably left all the valuables out, but I hid that thing. Anyway, I remember having this thing because I super, when you get your first AP, dude, that's a huge moment for a Disney fan.
Yeah, I mean my first one was probably about 10 years ago, actually.
Yeah, I mean, let's all admit it. That's kind of aspirational for all of us. I still remember when I got it. Like I can't believe I'm an annual pass holder now. Like that's a dream. Right, yeah. I mean, it really is that I get to go there so much. But anyway, so I had that. And I did take it to guest relations, and they did some kind of flume and turn it into an annual pass because I got the paper thing. Because back then they gave you like a paper, kind of like they do at Disneyland, actually.
Yeah.
And it just said, it was almost exactly like it was that flimsy paper with the like magnetic strip, and it said annual pass.
Yeah, I remember that, yeah.
But see, here's the thing: they're going so much away from even plastic now because I don't think they're going to even. I've heard that they're moving away from even giving out those plastic AP cards. I have my wallet on me.
Even I was always slightly confused just because going through my Disney Experience app, it already screens that I'm an AP holder. Like I think I can get a discount if I were to eat somewhere tonight or like go to Disney and buy something today without having it activated. So I wasn't expecting necessarily the benefits, given that I wasn't planning on activating it until Marathon weekend in January.
Well, the way you can tell is if you go into My Disney Experience.
Yeah.
And you go to, I'm doing it right now. You go under the 3 bars in the bottom right-hand corner. Hang on, this stupid app. I'm going to kill it. This app. So you go to those 3, the hamburger menu, I think it's called, down the 3 lines in the corner. And then, actually, no, you don't hit that. You go to My Profile. Then you go to Memberships and Passes.
I see the membership under there. That's what you're bringing up.
Yeah, so does it say Walt Disney World Annual Pass Holder?
the credit pass. Yeah.
So then, yeah, you probably that's the only thing they ever check when I ask for my discount.
Mhm.
Like it says Disney Visa card holder and Disney Plus
yeah.
and annual pass. I don't know how they know all that. How they know I'm Disney Plus and Disney Visa.
Your same email account, probably.
Like they know a lot about me. I didn't even think about that. How they know all that? That's
I mean, they
interesting.
probably knew where you kept the card too. So.
I guess you're kind of nosy here. I mean, it's all true, but it's like that's kind of interesting. I just thought because they always, they told me, and so I show them this all the time. But I didn't realize all that Disney Plus and Disney Visa stuff was in here. Huh.
I mean,
Well,
presumably same email. So.
yeah, I'm sure it is. I only have like one. Yeah, so that's it. Yeah, May 28th. It'll be an expensive day. Got to renew. Dang, it's coming
Right?
up.
Yeah.
Oof.
At least Dopey and annual passes were at least a week or two apart. If they were the same week, I don't think I could have swung that.
All right, I know. I'm glad that's behind us. Oof.
Right?
Can you imagine what that week's going to be like though? When we got to go to Disney. Are you doing Disneyland too?
Yes, of course.
Oof, that's going to be expensive, and that's at Christmas.
Yeah, I think I'm going to do a shorter marathon weekend trip this year compared to what I usually do, just to justify it.
But you're doing Dopey, right?
Of course I am.
Well, I mean, shorter. I mean, I go as short as I can. I mean, I go Thursday and I leave Monday. I mean, I still want to get my medal pictures on Monday, but I leave like Monday afternoon.
That's fair. I mean, I'm hoping you're arriving Wednesday because Thursday is the 5K.
No, yeah, Wednesday. Sorry. You know what? One year I totally did that. I scheduled my flight for Thursday, and I'm like, oh my god, Thursday's a race. I did. See, I almost did it again. Yeah. Yeah, so it's Wednesday to Monday. You see, and that's already a long trip. Even if you say it's a short trip, it's not. That's a long trip. And then you got Monday, and then you fly home Monday, and then I guess you'll fly out to Disneyland because I'm doing the 10K. Is the 10K on Friday?
Yeah, no, that's on Saturday. I'm doing the 5K too because the 5K I want to say is that Friday and then 10K Saturday. So I already have the Thursday to Monday booked in Disneyland off property, at least at this point.
Huh. Yeah, so I'm only doing the 10 and a half. So I'll probably go out Friday.
Okay, yeah, because I normally do the Tuesday to Tuesday of marathon weekend or sometimes a Monday to Tuesday kind of thing. But I'll probably do that Wednesday to Monday instead just to shorten it a bit.
Oof. See, that's the thing. I want to stay at Disneyland, but I just can't at that point, man. I'll have been gone for a week. That's crazy. And I'll be,
definitely.
Oh man. But it's a bummer, but I got to do it right. I've never run it. You've run at Disneyland, I'm guessing, right?
Yeah,
Before?
only once out 2015. So I mean it's been a while.
Yeah, I never have. So I'm excited to get to run in the parks and to run through the Big A and stuff like that and see all the Anaheim
it's
stuff.
definitely a great time.
Yeah. Love new adventures. And there's not many of them at World at this point, because even though there's different themes, you run a lot of the same courses. They're always fun, but it'll be fun. This will be totally different. This will be so fun.
Yeah, exactly.
So what else is going on besides the AP? So when you gonna activate it? When's your first trip down?
Well, Marlis and I are doing the day in Disney before and after the cruise. I don't know what her plans are necessarily. I wasn't going to activate my pass then just because I know I'm not going back again until January.
Oof, yeah, that's
so
a lot.
To be able to maximize the amount of time I actually would be using it. The one thing I wanted to bring up though was I don't think you're a big popcorn bucket person, but for Animal Kingdom's anniversary, they released the most adorable Pumbaa popcorn bucket. That I'm pretty sure it's probably all sold out already a day later. But that thing was the most adorable thing ever. So I need that to exist at some point in the near future so that I can actually get it because I need it.
I saw it. Okay. And it was kind of cool. But here's the thing. I'm not a popcorn bucket, but if you look over my shoulder, I got this one last week. See, right there. I'm pointing. I got the Mr. Toad bucket because I love Mr. Toad out of Disneyland. That ride is the bomb. So I got that one when I was down for Springtime Surprise. I got that purpley balloon looking one for the Disney 100 event when I was out there in Disneyland about a month ago. And then I had to get the Figment one. So all of a sudden, for a guy that doesn't like popcorn buckets, my office is filling up with popcorn and sippers. I got Sam Eagle over here and the orange bird and
orange bird back there.
I'm not a collector, and all these things are like they're closing it. And I got the alien popcorn bucket from like 3 years ago. Mallory got,
Oh yeah.
I have a problem. Not as bad as Scott, and actually I have some of the Christmas trees from like during the holidays. Those are popcorn buckets. Yeah, thought maybe I do have a problem.
Like I have like 8 or so on display in my apartment. So
They are cool little displays though. I mean, I do like them. I mean, they're like a good little souvenir, you know, like 20, 25 bucks, and you can, you know, sit
and
them
a
out.
lot cheaper than any other figure or
Yeah,
something
yeah.
like that, where
Totally. Yeah. And I mean, and the funny thing was, like, I was leaving. This is the last thing I got at the Magic Kingdom over Spring Surprise weekend was that Mr. Toad thing. And
Oh, yeah.
I told her, like, I don't need the popcorn. Like, I'm going to the airport. I don't, you know, I'm not in the mood for popcorn. Sir, we have to give you popcorn with a bucket. I'm like, I don't need pop. I don't want, because I'm not a big popcorn guy. I know, like, it's a shame. Like, Main Street popcorn is good, but I wasn't hungry. And so she's like, sir, we have to give you popcorn. I'm like, but don't put it in the thing because I don't want it all buttery. Because, you know, I'm not trying to be mean, but I'm just like, I'm putting it in my office. Like, I don't have to clean it. She's like, that's fine. She's like, I said, can you just give it to me in a box? You know, because like if you just buy popcorn, they give it to you in a box. It's like, sir, we can't give it to you in a box, but we can give it to you in like 3 cups. I'm like, I don't need it in 3 cups. Like, how am I going to carry 3 cups? Like, I'm a one dude, and I now got this thing on my shoulder, this Mr. Toad car, and I was carrying like a bag. I'm like, what? So she gave me these 3 like little water drinking cups full of popcorn. And I just took one. I said, can I just take one? And is this a legal transaction at that point? And so I took one. She's like, yeah, that's fine. And I took like 3 bites of the popcorn and I just threw it away. I mean, I felt terrible, but it's like, man, I told her just keep the popcorn. She wouldn't let me. It's the weirdest thing.
Yeah, you broke some Disney popcorn.
I did.
Apparently.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like, I don't need the popcorn right now. Like, just keep it. But yeah. So just if you ever buy a popcorn bucket, you got to get the popcorn, I guess. That lady was a rule follower. 100%. It was the weirdest thing.
I mean,
ever.
I love the Disney popcorn, especially. So
I do
not a
sometimes.
problem I ever have to encounter.
But see, I just finished eating lunch. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'd eaten lunch at Columbia Harbor House. I'd had too much. You know, I'm just one of those people, like, once you eat too much, you know, quit shoving it in.
See, popcorn is my lunch in the park.
Well, see, that would have worked. Yeah. I just had Columbia Harbor House. I was like, ate too many fries and like too many shrimp and chicken and fish.
That's fair.
I was stuffed. Anyway. So yeah, it's gonna be a big year, and you got an AP to show for it. We got the cruise coming up. I think it just said 71 days on the sign here behind me a second ago. So we are almost there.
Awesome. Yeah, well, I will definitely see you then, of course.
Yes, I can't wait. I still got to book my pre and post stays. I'm thinking maybe Yacht Club and Coronado. I think that's what I'm doing.
Yeah, we're in All-Star Sports before and I think movies after, just to save money on that front.
Yeah, see, well, my girls don't have tickets. So I think pre-trip, we just got to go somewhere with a good pool. And so Mallory asked if we could do Coronado. She loves the tower. And so we'll probably get like a standard room at the tower for the pre-trip. And then post-trip, I am going to get them tickets post-trip so we can go like at least to the Magic Kingdom Studios in Epcot. And we'll probably do Typhoon Lagoon and what that H2O night on the 8th. I think we're going to try to swing that too. Yeah, I think we're going to try to swing that. But they just, you know, she's 16 or 15 and her sister's 26. They want pool time, so whatever.
I mean, that's valid.
I'm not arguing. Whatever. So we'll figure it out. But I still haven't booked it. I need to get on that. It's hard with her sister.
Yeah, you probably should.
Yes, I should. Okay, well, Katie, good talking to you, and have an awesome week, and talk to you next Sunday.
Definitely, yeah. See you then.
All righty. Bye-bye.
Awesome. Bye.
All right. It's 407-413-9395. 407-413-9395. One of the other stories I haven't gotten to yet, and it's one of my favorite stories because it's good news. Garden Grill is bringing back breakfast service over at Epcot starting on June 14th. One of my favorite breakfasts. You got a character breakfast. It rotates. You're in a theme park. You're in Epcot. You're in the land. It's a great breakfast. Oh my gosh, it's so good. So grab breakfast over at Epcot on June 14th. All right, next call. It looks like we have Alfred. Alfred, what's going on?
Hey, Mike. How are you?
I'm doing great. How about yourself?
Oh, I'm hanging in there. I've had health issues, but I'm doing good otherwise.
It's good to hear. I'm glad you're on the road to recovery. We'll be thinking about you. So what's up?
Yep. So I have a few questions for you tonight.
Sure.
First, the wine and dine, I saw something online. Is it going to be Beauty and the Beast medals?
I do not know because I'm not running that one.
Someone posted a picture that was their cover photo, and it had Encanto as one, and below Encanto that had Beauty and the Beast. I forget the other two pictures, but
Let's see here. So I'm looking at the Wine and Dine 2023 race weekend. It's showing Alice in Wonderland. It's showing Cogsworth. It's showing
okay.
Encanto. I don't know who that is, and Figment.
Oh, maybe all of them are part of it then.
I'm guessing
Okay.
one's the 5, one's the 10, one's the half, and one's the challenge. Is what I'm
Right.
guessing.
Now, if you did it virtually, is it you get the same medal?
Yes. Oh, here it is right here. Here it is. I looked it up. It is, hang on. Alice in Wonderland is the 5K. Runners can answer the dinner bell, Belle, at the Be Our Guest theme 10K. Grab a seat at La Mesa Madrigal and channel Luisa's strength to tackle the Encanto themed half marathon and take the 2-course challenge as Figment. Yeah, so those are the medals.
Oh,
But so yeah, the medals are
okay.
the same except the ribbons are different. Like the ribbon that goes on the medal
Okay.
itself says virtual.
Okay. The other thing is, if you did it in person, like for me, I can't run. There's no possible way because of my health. But if I had a scooter, do they allow that?
They do not.
No.
Nope.
Okay.
And they're all sold out
So I would
anyway.
have to
All
do
the
it
in-person
virtually.
races are all sold out for Wine and Dine.
Oh, okay. So I'd have to do it virtually then.
Yep. It looks like the only thing that's open is virtual. Yeah, and they're all open. Yep. They're open.
So, okay. Good.
Yep.
Also, the first caller you had on mentioned the tower room at the Riviera.
Yes.
I stayed in it, and
Did you?
I loved it.
You see, I'm curious. I'd love to, but it seems like it would be
Yeah.
so. I don't know. If you kind of be like staying in this office here. This office is not very big. It's made. If I put a wall, a bed coming out of the wall, it'd be pretty much like that.
Pretty much, yeah. The only problem I had with it was that because the bed is technically a couch, it's like sleeping, to me anyway, it's like sleeping on a pull-out bed from the sofa. It was just very hard to get comfortable for me.
So do you have like a super nice bed at home?
Of course.
See, we have a terrible lumpy bed at home. So anytime I'm at a hotel, I'm just like, oh yeah. Even at Pop Century, dude, Pop Century, I'm out like a light. I'm like, oh, this bed is so much nicer. And Cruise Line,
but that one just
like a
felt
baby.
like it was hard to get into. I felt, and it was hard. So I had the problem. The whole idea though of the bed wall, the microwave was in the wall and the refrigerator, and then you had like a little desk where they had the coffee pot. It was really nice in that respect. And then you had your door to the balcony. It was beautiful. And the bathroom was spectacular.
That's cool. Yeah, she said the bathroom was her favorite part.
Yeah. Beautiful, huge. I'd say the bathroom is almost as big as the main room.
That's weird.
Yeah, that's how great it was.
That'd be good with
But,
my girls because they spend more time in the bathroom than anywhere else. But not for me.
Yeah, but like if you and your wife went, it would be perfect for you guys.
I'll have to try it sometime. They're hard to get.
Mm-hmm.
There's not many of them.
Is it hard to get?
Yeah, because there's not a lot of them.
Yeah, no, it's only the one side.
Yep.
I think, yeah. But and you were talking about the DVC at Fort Wilderness. I wish Disney would just make it a DVC area, but not sell it.
So how would that work?
Because they have too many people with points that can't use them. So until they decide to,
okay, yeah, I see what you're saying. Like not sell it as a new property, just like allow existing DVC members to use their points in the cabins. Okay, I see what you're saying.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah. I know they want to make money on it, and I get that. The problem is then you're selling more points out, and it's still not going to allow people to use it or to use their points. So, but I actually like the way they look from the picture.
You like them? See, I'm old fashioned. I just like, I'm more of a plain kind of guy, you know, but I mean, everybody's got
Yeah.
their different tastes. I mean, I just like stuff plain.
Yeah. And the Trails End is going to be a quick service, they said. I could have sworn I read that.
Yeah, it is. They said they had some,
Yeah.
it wasn't, they didn't call it quick service. They said it was like a hybrid, like grab and go, or it had some kind of like jazzy name. It sounded like fancier, but it's quick service. I mean, it's a place you can go grab something.
Yeah, it's quick service and mobile order all in one, like
Yep.
that top and all that.
Yep. As long as we have the same kind of food, I'm
Yeah.
good.
Yeah, right.
I used to destroy the chicken legs at that place.
Me and you always talk food, if you notice.
Oh my God, that's all Scott and I ever talk about, so it's okay.
But my question with that grilled cheese sandwich, because I've never had it.
Yep.
Is it spicy?
It is they give you buffalo sauce to dip it in, and that's got a little kick to it. But otherwise, it's not too bad. And I'm not a spicy guy. I don't like hot stuff. I don't like hot sauce.
Yeah.
I don't like spicy, and I love that. It's got just enough. Just a
little kick to it where it has flavor.
Yeah. It's got good flavor. Yeah. It's got great flavor.
Okay.
Yes.
I'm gonna have to try that when I go.
Totally. Yeah.
Next time. Yeah. Because now every time you say it, it sounds so good.
Yeah, you give it a shot, and the steak fries are good too.
The steak fries. Yeah, I think I've had those.
Yeah, they're good.
Yeah. What was the last question I had or comment? Oh, I heard about the dragon at Fantasmic, and I thought I read also that they're trying to open Fantasmic on the 28th. That's what I read.
You've already heard that. That'd be good because I mean, yeah. I mean, that's less than a week. I mean, I would hope that they could. I would just think it's going to take some reworking of the show because they're going to have to do it without the dragon. I mean, obviously that thing's big. You can't just build it in a week.
Yeah.
I mean,
I think they could do it though.
Yeah, but I mean, when I'm thinking about it though, is like a show, right? Mickey does the whole interaction with the dragon guy, right? So how do you do that? I mean, like if there's no dragon there and the music is playing, like, oh no, like does he turn around and nobody's there? What's going on?
Is it still there or was it totally?
No, that thing burned. I mean, it's definitely not going to be there in the next week. That thing was a mess, man. That thing was way on fire.
Yeah, so Mickey did it.
Yeah, I mean, Mickey lit him up, dude. I'm just saying,
really let it.
You don't want. Mickey was in a bad mood last night. You do not want to mess with Mickey on a bad Saturday night. He was not playing last night. Totally. Oh yeah, he was fired up for real.
Yeah.
Where's my drum roll? Where's my?
It is the best show.
There we go. Rim shot.
That is the best show that they have.
It is. I love that show. It's great.
Yeah. And for your guest who's going 4th of July, I would recommend that if they want to see the fireworks that day, to get a spot on the earlier side. Because I did it once and I had to get a spot at least 2 to 3 hours before.
Now, see, I just walked up when I was before 4th of July. It's probably a lot more challenging. I just walked up 20 minutes before. This was about a month ago. Of course, that was like the end of March. It's spring break, but Corwin of Amber, our good friend out on the West Coast, says that they do have projections they use when the dragon is not available. And so, yeah, I mean, then if they could use projections in place of the dragon, we're set. I mean, then, hey, just clean it up, get the soot, wipe off the soot, and let's go. I mean, drag them out.
If they're doing projections, then they can have the wall around it and put the projection on that.
Yeah. I mean, they're good at projections. So, yeah, I mean, if they could do that, we'll be good to go. Because that show is great. I mean, that is it's not to be missed. It is not to be missed.
No.
I
see it every time I go out there.
I mean, I've been twice, but I always will.
Yeah. Yeah. Did you like Enchantment at Disney World?
It was okay. I liked it a lot better than I did Harmonious.
Okay. I never saw either. Well, I saw Enchantment, but I saw it from the wall at the train station. So I didn't get to see any of the projections down Main Street, and it was very hard to even see the fireworks.
So
I think a lot of people probably wrote in about that.
Well, so
that
I-
it wasn't worth it. They didn't know how to stand to see everything. And that's why I like Happily Ever After, because the projections are just on
the
the
castle.
castle.
And that's going to be more of a challenge with all these fireworks shows because I was just out at Disneyland for that Disney 100 event, and they brought a
And it
new
was
fireworks show. They brought a new fireworks show to Disneyland, and they have projections. Now, here's the thing. This is what I thought was interesting, is that you can see a different show depending on where you stand, because they have a different projection set on Small World than they do on the castle, than they do on Main Street, and then they do on, there was 4 of them. Can't remember what the 4th one was. But you could see 4 different shows.
Yeah.
Like, because
Is it Matterhorn?
no, it's not the Matterhorn.
No.
But it was somewhere else, but it doesn't matter. But the thing is, like, obviously the soundtrack is the same, but you're going to get, different animation, story kind of elements in each of these. I saw it on Small World. Like, so if you watch it from the castle, you could see Baymax fly across the castle. I didn't see that because I was like looking.
Great. I did see that.
I didn't see that. I was looking the other way at this other thing, but it's a great show. But with Enchantment, I liked it, I think, because I saw it there on October 1st, when the 50th kicked off, and I saw it right next to the partner statue. I was in the perfect spot. And so I have that connection to it. So I liked it that night.
I saw it the same day.
Yeah.
But I was against the wall at the train.
Now, see, I was right. I just dumb lucked into it. I just happened to, I was standing kind of halfway down Main Street, and like they had a big gap, and they just told everybody, you got to move up and fill in this gap. And by the time I filled in the gap, I was up by the partner statue.
You did get lucky.
I got super lucky. Yeah, but it's one of those things though.
I thought maybe you pushed the kid aside and took his spot.
I wouldn't do that. No, because that could be my kid someday. So no, but the thing is, it's one of those things like, but we're going to get more and more to that projection dilemma, right? Where Disney's going to put projections not just in front of you, they're going to be on the side of you, they're going to be behind you to give like that 360 and it's like at New Year's Eve too. Like, you have those 365-degree fireworks, which are amazing, but it's also, where do I look? You know what I'm saying? Like, it's more like with a movie and a TV, like, at least, like, okay, with the TV, I'm looking at the TV, I see everything I got to see right in my focal length, but with the 360-degree thing, like those movies like China or Canada, they're awesome, but like, are you going to be the doofus that's looking backwards the whole show? I mean, there's stuff happening back there. There's really, that's not wrong, but
no, I turn in a circle. I try to follow it.
I mean, you're totally not wrong if you're looking backwards in the theater, because the stuff's happening behind you just like it is in front of you. But it's like, the norms are to look forward. Anyway,
the thing with the Disneyland fireworks, they say that, they have it in each of those different spots. And I think that's okay, because what it does is it allows you to go and see it different times, and you could pick a spot each time. So I think that works.
Yeah. And if you're locals park, that makes more sense too, because you're going to get the opportunity to go see it over and over.
Right. I don't like the fact, like, where I was, you would think, oh, you're going to see all of Main Street and Disney World. No, you couldn't see it.
Yeah.
Because of the way where I was standing, you have to be in a certain point. So you probably have to be up right where Main Street goes into the circle.
Yeah,
then you'll see everything.
Yeah.
If you're any further back, you're not going to see it all.
Yeah.
And there's no way you could. The Disney World, they have to decide how they want to do it. I think projections are great. I love it. But they have to decide how they're going to do it to maximize it so everyone can see it.
Yeah.
You can't tell people, oh, turn towards the left buildings, you'll miss the fireworks, so it's a little different there.
Right. Yeah, I mean, it's one of those things. I'd almost rather have more pyros just in the sky, because everybody can see it with less, because you can see it at Walt Disney World, for example, the Magic Kingdom. You could see the fireworks beautifully from the Polynesian Beach. You could see them from Seven Seas Lagoon on a pontoon
Right.
boat for a fireworks cruise. You could see them from the train
Mhm.
station, because the music was available everywhere. So you had the music, you had the
Right.
fireworks, and you may have a couple of like the color. I loved that the castle would change colors. That was beautiful. It really went with,
Yeah.
but I mean,
Yeah.
I don't need to see the projections all the time. Like I just don't like the big ones. Even like when they
Oh,
first
right.
started doing it,
Totally.
they would just like, you didn't have to see up close the intricacies. Like they made the castle look like a rocket that was shooting off into space, or they made it look like it was on fire for pirates. That's good enough.
Right.
I don't need to see like, movie scenes. I don't need to be keeping up
Right.
with the story.
Right. Well, I like that too, though. I like all of that.
But then
But
but then you're forced to have
just
like,
know,
then you're very limiting where you can watch the show. You can't watch it then from Seven Seas
Right.
Lagoon.
right. But here's the other thing: if you've seen it repeatedly,
That's true.
and you've seen it several times, like I've done the dessert cruise when I was as a DVC member. That was amazing because you didn't see projections, but you saw all the fireworks. You had the whole view of it from the Seven Seas Lagoon.
That's true.
And it was beautiful.
No, that's a good
So
point. I mean,
I think it's okay to do projections, but they can't expect you to see them from within the park, everywhere.
no, I agree.
And that's the thing.
And William is
Yeah.
he's a very veteran Disneyland guest. And he says, and he's exactly right. Disney's going to try to cut back on pyrotechnics because that costs money. Projections are a one-time cost.
Yeah.
They don't cost anything extra to
Right.
project. And so
Right.
they obviously want to go more towards projections, less towards pyros. That's an expense.
Yeah.
And they're probably right, but I mean, you gotta toe
Yeah.
the line there because you got to still have a good show. But so it is what it is. But
Mhm.
we'll see.
What I could picture happening is that they don't do fireworks every night, and that would be a shame.
No, that would be a problem. Yeah, that's a big problem because they don't do them at Disneyland every night because of ordinances and stuff.
Yeah. They do them every night in the summer, though,
I think, unless it's like windy or something like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. Well, hey, I got to get one more call in here
All
because
right.
Corwin's been hanging out, but
Yeah.
and we're already over time. But I'll talk to you next week.
Yep.
You
And
keep getting better.
congratulations to Mallory.
Absolutely, I'll tell her, and you get better. You can't hang in there.
Okay.
I'll talk to you soon, buddy.
Thank you.
All right. Bye bye.
Talk to you later.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
All right. Let's get Corwin in here, and I think I have him. Corwin of Ambers joining us on the line. What's going on, buddy?
Hey there, hi there, ho there.
Hey there, hi there, ho there.
I'm getting ready to go to Disneyland in 65 days.
Not that you're counting.
So that's not that I'm counting, not that I have a countdown on my refrigerator that I change every day and then post a picture of to my Facebook. I don't do that, no.
Nah. Well, so would that be? That'd be about June 26th, 7th?
28th.
28th, yeah, because I mean, I got a 71-day countdown to the podcast cruise on July 3rd, so I was just doing a little math.
Yeah, and I'm really happy because it's working out that we'll have a chance to go see Rogers the Musical. When I heard they were bringing that, I was like, hey, I really want to see that. I hope it's going to be open by the time we get there, and they're opening it on the 30th. That'll be right the third day we're there. So
over at California Adventure, right?
Yes.
Nice.
Yes. Where they had Aladdin and Frozen in that theater. I can't remember the name of it.
Yeah.
Hyperion Theater? I don't remember.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's one of the big things we're looking forward to for this trip.
You have to give us a review. So it's Roger. See, I don't even know what it's. Is it? It's a Marvel thing, I guess.
It's a Marvel thing. So at the start of Hawkeye, the Hawkeye series,
Okay.
he was attending. Clint Barton, Hawkeye, was attending the musical, the stage musical of the Avengers Defense of New York. And they had one big song that was just fantastic. And everybody, after that came out, said, make this real. And they made it real.
Nice. Well, hey, I mean, it's good. That'd be a reason for people like William says he's got to get down there and see the show. It's the Hyperion Theater. Everybody's telling us in the live chat.
Okay.
So there you go. So you're in the right place. That'll be fun.
And
Hawkeye.
yeah, it's going to be great. So yeah, we're actually going down because of a science fiction convention, but we weren't going to go to the convention until we realized, hey, it's right next to Disney. We're going to go to that convention.
Heck yeah. Anytime you're in the neighborhood, I'm trying to get, I want to get out there again. I mean, I've been home like 3 weeks and I'm already like, I got to get back. I got to go to a Dodgers game. I got to go see Ohtani. I got to see Mike Trout. I got to get out to Disneyland. I got to get out there. Oh, love that place.
Yeah. It's although I'm a little bit bummed with the I do hope they have some kind of Fantasmic show, but
same. That's a huge part. That's a great way to wrap up a Disneyland night.
Yes, so we're hoping that they'll have it all worked out, that there's something by the time we get back there.
So let me ask you this, because you're out there on the West Coast. William, I was going to ask this question earlier and I totally forgot because I get busy in here with all the calls and stuff. But everybody calls him Murphy, the dragon, right? At Disneyland for Fantasmic. And I was going to ask, like, why is he Murphy? Because I know, like, I didn't think it was from like the movies or anything. I'm not a good movie guy. So, but he gave the explanation that from the day they built that thing, it was Murphy's Law. If something could go wrong with that dragon, it did. And so I'm glad that William gave some context. So I'll sleep better tonight because I was like wondering ever since this thing happened. Everybody kept calling him all day today. Everybody's like, Murphy caught on fire. Murphy. I'm like, where'd they get the name Murphy? Like, because I don't remember like Murphy being in like a movie. I thought it was like Maleficent or, I was like, am I missing something? So I am so glad that he filled us in with that story. And it makes sense. I mean, this is ultimate. He is absolutely Murphy with a capital M right now. Totally. That's so good.
It's one of those, what I love is I was watching one of the videos and had a really good shot of Mickey as that happened, and he does a triple take on like he looks away a little bit, he looks again, he looks away, and then he looks and really stares, and then the water comes up and he disappears. It's like, oh my goodness. He's like,
get Mickey out of there, please.
There's a flaming dragon above my head. Am I paid enough for this?
Yes. He was probably getting a little toasty. That thing was, because that was not that wasn't like a spark, dude. That was an inferno. That thing was lit up. I mean, that was crazy. Yeah. I'm just glad nobody was hurt. No, it didn't get worse than it was.
And one of the stagehands, it was funny because you could see in one of the videos, one of the stagehands has one of those hand carried fire extinguishers.
Oh my gosh.
And it's like, and he's like down, like, what is that going to do?
Like the real life David and Goliath right there. Like I'm gonna throw a pebble at this big 30-foot behemoth that's blazing. Psst, 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 psst.
He's like spraying it with a handheld fire extinguisher.
Psst, psst.
I'm thinking maybe there was something that he was trying to hose down that he knew just shouldn't catch on fire, but it was like hilarious.
Yeah, William said it best in the chat. Like doing something to a forest fire. That's exactly right.
Yeah.
I love you guys. Yeah. I mean, but you know what? Give the guy a raise. Dude, he sprung into action and he did what he could. I mean,
yeah.
He was there. He went to bat. I mean, give the guy a fire. He took what he had and he got after it. I mean, come on now.
Yeah. And then the other great thing about it was when the announcement came on, due to circumstances, beyond our control, the show can't continue. And as soon as they said, due to circumstances beyond our control, the show can't, everybody bursts out laughing.
Yeah, you think? And we're living in such a weird time too. I saw this picture today on Instagram or it was Twitter. I think it was Twitter. This guy, he's in that white Mickey, the sweatshirt that I have. It just says, it's the white sweatshirt. It's kind of cream colored and it's just got Mickey Mouse and it says Disneyland at the bottom, right? There's a million of them at Disneyland when you're there. And this guy's standing there. I think he's right by the Riverbell Terrace, right there by that restaurant. And he's, like somebody's taking a picture of him and he's just smiling like you do, like if you're standing in front of the Haunted Mansion or if you're standing in front of like the Sailing Ship Columbia, he's just standing there in front of something, but over his shoulder, he's just standing there grinning like with this big smile. The dragon is burning. Like, I mean, it is blazing and he's just standing there like he's getting a picture in front of the Haunted Mansion. It is just, It is the sign of 2023. I'm like, you are taking a picture. Like just like, I mean, as happy as can be. Like, I mean, he is smiling just like he is in front of, like, oh, I'm getting my picture in front of the partner statue. Nope. There is a blazing dragon over this dude's shoulder, and he's like, I'm just savoring the moment. It's so crazy. I'm like, are you kidding?
Too bad they couldn't. Too bad they couldn't queue up like Disco Inferno.
Oh, that'd be too bad. Hang on. I'm glad I found that because we had to use it again. There you go.
And,
oh my goodness.
So it's good. We're really looking forward to it. It's and the other cool thing is that my new boss, the job I started last October, is a big Disney fan. So he's, every time we have a one-on-one, talk about work. No, we spend the first 15 minutes talking about Disney.
There you go. You got to get him on your side.
He's like, okay, what you doing there? And what do you like to do? And go on with that. So that's fun.
That is. We have to tell us how it is. I mean, that you know what? And more live entertainment, the better in the Disney parks. I went to see the Frozen sing along last weekend. Loved it. Disney has such great performers, and just to get out in a theme park and see some live entertainment, always a win to me. Always a win.
Yep.
So I can't wait to hear what you think about it.
I'm gonna take my little. We're making this our anniversary trip.
Oh.
We went back in September. The wife unit and I went for our birthdays, which are beginning and middle of September. So our anniversary's at the beginning of June. So we time shifting it till the end of June. We're going to get our buttons. We're just going to have a great time with it. Take along my little thank you cards business size thank you cards that I give to the cast members.
I love that.
This says thank you for making my day magical. It was great. In September, we were looking for the buttons, and they weren't out in front of the hall, and people didn't say, we don't have them here. We're not really sure where you might be able to find one. Go check, over, at the store over there, and found, they had them in the drawer there, and they said, Tim, you want me to write your name and, what the thing is? Yeah. So they wrote it and put little Mickey-shaped balloon, drew little Mickey-shaped balloons and everything. And so I gave the cast member one of the cards. And as we walked away, I happened to look back because I thought I'd left something there. And she was showing it to the other cast members, and then she held it to her chest.
Oh, that's, what? When you can make somebody's day who, is doing something special for you, that's awesome. Just keep the good going. I love that.
Yeah.
Good stuff. Well, hey, I got to run because we're way over time, and we got to do a little celebrating around this house tonight. And my other daughter's texting me because they're having an awards ceremony up in Chicago called the Sparkies tonight for their athletics department, because they're the Flames, they're the UIC Flames. And so they're doing like the ESPYs tonight, if you know sports, like where they have the big awards for the whole athletic department. And so we're hoping that their basketball team gets something. They totally deserve it. They went from 3 wins last year to 19 wins this year. So new coach, new director of basketball ops. I'm just saying, how about a Sparky for women's basketball up in Chicago? So she's been texting me. I've been telling her good luck. So big week, big night around the house here. But hey, good talking to you. And don't be a stranger. Scotty G will be back next week, and hope to talk to you again.
Okay.
Talk to you later, buddy. All right. Bye-bye. And thank you for hanging out with me over the last hour or so. Jennifer, hope you had a great trip back from down I-55, making it up St. Louis way. I always appreciate you tuning in and being a part of our community. Thanks to everybody who was a part of the show tonight. Lots of fun talking Disney, APs, Little Run Disney, Little Murphy. I got to learn about why he is called Murphy. Thank you for that, William, out in Oregon. You guys are awesome. Thank you so much for letting me do what I love with this live call-in show with the podcast each week. We got a fun show for you on Monday. That's going to be a crazy show because, and Katie will like this one, she's still in the live chat. We had a runner put together his own challenge. He ran 26.2 miles in one day at Walt Disney World, but he made a challenge to run at least 1 mile in each of the Walt Disney World resorts. And he drove around to each one of them during August when it was super hot. And he went to all 4 theme parks, had a snack, and rode an attraction in each park. It was crazy. So we talk about that on Monday. We talk about him just, you know, you don't have to be a runner to like the show because we talk a lot about just strategies getting in and out of the parks and how hot it was. It was crazy. So we talk about that on Monday. Of course, Wednesday and Friday, we'll have listener questions and a topical show. Scotty will be with me. Pam and Ricky will be back. We'll be having fun. We're always here for you. We appreciate you so very much. Don't forget, our show's brought to you by the Magic for Less Travel. I'd love to help you plan a great trip to Disney this week. So whether you're headed to Disney, Walt Disney World, Disneyland, Disney Cruise Line, Adventures by Disney, I would love to help you plan that trip. All you need to do is swing by themagicforless.com, fill out that free, no obligation quote form, mention the Be Our Guest podcast. That quote will come to me, and we'll be working together on that show this week. So again, check them out, magicforless.com. Please also use our Amazon affiliate link when you shop online. That's one extra click. Supports everything we do throughout the year. beourguestpodcast.com/Amazon. And thank you to our patrons. You guys carry the load and you make these shows possible. We could not afford all this without you. So I appreciate you so very much. And our patrons get that bonus show every week. It's called Mike in the Midwest. Usually comes out on a Tuesday afternoon. Just stories, you know, kind of behind the scenes stuff from my life growing up and current events happening around here that are not Disney related. So if you'd like to get that, come on over to patreon.com/Be Our Guest Podcast. Give me a follow on social media at Be Our Guest Mike on Instagram and Twitter. And join us next Sunday night, 7 o'clock Eastern, 6 o'clock Central, Facebook and YouTube for another BOGP Open Line. All right, time to get out of here, and we are going to have a great week. Let's all do it. Let's have an awesome one. It's been a great week here. Totally blessed, totally lucky, and I hope you are having an even better day yourself. So for Pam, Ricky, and Scott, they're the best, and I appreciate them so very much. They share our talents with us, and they are great. Hope you have a great week. Stay safe, stay healthy, and we'll see you real soon. All righty, everybody. We will see you tomorrow night for the live show.